Right now, you may still remember the pain, the betrayal, the rejection, the disappointment, the words that wounded your heart, the promises that were broken, the trust that was lost, and even though time has passed, part of you still carries the scars, because some wounds heal slowly, some experiences change you deeply, and some people leave behind lessons you never expected to learn. But listen carefully, Jesus is saying, my child. The person who hurt you cannot stop the plans I have for your life. They may have caused pain, but they cannot control your future. They may have left, but they cannot take away your purpose. They may have disappointed you, but they cannot cancel your destiny. Jesus says, my child. Human actions are powerful, but my plans are greater. For too long, you allowed the pain to convince you that something was lost forever. You allowed the betrayal to make you doubt yourself. You allowed the rejection to make you question your worth. And slowly, the wound became heavier than the lesson. But today, God is calling you to release that burden. Jesus is saying, my child. Stop giving your past more authority than your future. Because the chapter that hurt you is not the chapter that defines you. The mistake is not your identity. The heartbreak is not your destiny. The disappointment is not your final outcome. What happened was real. The pain was real, the tears were real, but God's ability to restore is real too. Jesus says, my child. I can build something beautiful from what was broken. At this stage, you must stop looking backward constantly. Stop replaying the betrayal. Stop reliving the rejection. Stop giving yesterday the power to steal today, because every moment spent trapped in old pain is a moment not spent building your future. Jesus is saying, my child. Healing begins when you stop living in the wound. That does not mean pretending nothing happened. It does not mean denying your feelings. It means refusing to let the hurt control your life any longer, because you are stronger now, wiser now, more discerning now, and more prepared for your future than ever before. Jesus says, my child. What hurt you also taught you. It taught you boundaries, it taught you discernment, it taught you self-respect, it taught you the importance of protecting your peace, and those lessons will serve you in the season ahead. Soon, you will see doors open that pain could never close. You will meet people who value what others ignored. You will experience peace where chaos once existed. You will discover opportunities that your past could never prevent, because God's plan does not depend on the approval of people. It does not depend on who stayed. It does not depend on who left. It depends on God. Jesus is saying, my child. What I am preparing for you is bigger than what you lost. So release the bitterness, release the resentment, release the need to understand everything, and trust that God is still writing your story. A better chapter is coming, a stronger version of you is emerging, and the person who hurt you cannot stop what God is about to do. Jesus says, my child. Keep moving forward. Your future is not in their hands. It is in mine. If you believe God is leading you into a better season, type Amen and continue trusting His plan. Now, you may not fully understand everything that happened. You may still have unanswered questions. You may still wonder why certain people left, why certain doors closed, why certain prayers seemed delayed. But something is changing, slowly, quietly, deep within you. Jesus is saying, my child. When I turn pain into purpose, the first changes happen inside your heart. One of the first signs is this: you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And you begin asking, what can I learn from this? Because growth begins when you seek wisdom instead of remaining trapped in confusion. Jesus says, my child. Every challenge carries a lesson, and every lesson carries a purpose. Another sign: you become stronger in places where you were once fragile. The situation that once broke your heart no longer controls your emotions. The memory that once made you cry no longer has the same power over your spirit, because healing is taking place. and healing is evidence that God is restoring you. Jesus is saying, my child. The wound is becoming wisdom. Another sign, you develop greater compassion, because pain changes the way you see others. You become more understanding, more patient, more aware of hidden struggles, because you know what it feels like to carry burdens no one else can see. Jesus says, my child. Some of your greatest strengths are being formed through what you survived. At this stage, you begin noticing that your priorities are changing. Things that once seemed important no longer matter as much. You value peace more than attention, character more than appearance, purpose more than popularity, because pain has refined your perspective. Jesus is saying, my child. Purpose changes what you pursue. You may also notice something else. New opportunities begin appearing, new ideas begin growing, new dreams begin forming, not because the past never happened, but because the past no longer controls your future. Jesus says, my child. I am not only healing what hurt you. I am preparing what will help you. And perhaps the greatest sign of all, you begin helping others with wisdom you did not have before. The lessons learned through your struggles become encouragement for someone else. Your testimony begins bringing hope, your story begins bringing strength. Your experience begins bringing light, because God never wastes pain. Jesus is saying, my child. What you survived is becoming part of your purpose. One day, you will look back and see that the season you wanted to escape was also the season that transformed you, the season that strengthened your faith, the season that revealed your resilience, the season that prepared you for what comes next. Jesus says, my child. I am turning your pain into purpose, your wounds into wisdom, and your struggles into strength. So keep trusting, keep growing, keep healing, keep moving forward, because the story is not over, and God is still working. If you believe God is turning your pain into purpose, type Amen and continue trusting His plan for your life. Now, this may be one of the hardest truths to understand, because when betrayal happens, it feels unfair, painful, confusing. You trusted, you believed, you gave your heart sincerely, and yet, the very people you expected to stand beside you were the ones who hurt you the most. But listen carefully, Jesus is saying, my child. I did not cause the betrayal, but I can use it to redirect your life. Because sometimes, the people you trusted were standing in places they were never meant to stay permanently, and if they had remained, you might never have discovered what God was trying to show you. Jesus says, my child. Some departures are painful, but necessary. Before the betrayal, you may have ignored warning signs, overlooked unhealthy patterns, made excuses for behavior that was hurting your spirit, because your heart wanted to believe the best, but the betrayal revealed what loyalty was hiding, it exposed what comfort was covering, it showed you truths you could no longer ignore. Jesus is saying, my child. Revelation often arrives through disappointment. Because not everyone who walks beside you is meant to walk with you forever. Some people are lessons, some are assignments, some are temporary chapters, and some exits happen because God is protecting your future. Jesus says, my child. What left your life may have been preventing your growth. At first, you saw only the loss, the hurt, the rejection, the unanswered questions. But over time, you began seeing something else: strength, wisdom, discernment, boundaries, and a deeper understanding of your worth, because pain taught you things comfort never could. Jesus is saying, my child. The betrayal revealed your strength, not your weakness. Now, you are more careful with your trust, more protective of your peace, more aware of who truly values your presence, and while those lessons came at a cost, they prepared you for healthier relationships, better opportunities, and greater purpose. Jesus says, my child. Breakthrough often follows the lessons that betrayal teaches. Because once the wrong people leave, the right doors can open. Once unhealthy attachments break, true healing can begin. Once false foundations collapse, God can build something stronger. That is why you must stop asking, "Why did they hurt me?" and start asking, "What is God teaching me through this?" Because your future is not hidden in the betrayal, your future is hidden in what comes after it. Jesus is saying, "My child, do not let the pain keep you focused on the person. Focus on the purpose." One day, you will look back and realize that what felt like an ending was actually a redirection. What felt like rejection was actually protection. What felt like loss was making room for something better. Jesus says, "My child." The betrayal was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your breakthrough. So keep moving forward, keep healing, keep trusting, because God is still working, and the breakthrough ahead of you will be greater than the pain behind you. If you believe God is turning your setbacks into stepping stones, type Amen and continue walking forward in faith.